realistically, Azure Ray, they got like 4 broken heroes on their side, or 4 heroes that, like, if you're in a pub, people are either banning them or trying to pick them first, right?
Yeah. The only hero they have on the side of Team Bright that lives up to somewhat broken billing is maybe this Doom, which has been emerging first phase in a lot of pubs. But even then, compared to some of these heroes on the side of Azure Ray, especially techies, man. How is this hero this good? Dude, this lane is so scary. Like, Magnus techies, holy smokes, I'm terrified already. I haven't even seen the early lane phase slot, but I know they're going to get some kills like level 2, level 3.
Yeah, the lane itself is really difficult. Post-laning stage, you get some old school combos, right? Like, it's not the same as before, but you still can skewer them around that, around those mines. But they hit hard, right? Like in the lane itself, like you have techies with 60 damage at the moment, Magnus with 66. They're gonna right-click you, blast off you. Even if you're a Morphling, you need to be careful not to get blown up.
30 seconds to battle.
60 damage with 700 range. Fair and balanced on this Goblin techies. I see no problem with this. So far, though, Team Bright potentially setting up to try and claim an additional bounty rune with Imitator. But I don't think they want to put their lives at risk and at jeopardy to get this. Although he's actually going up the hill. He's going to go get the free one here. And maybe they're trying to get more than just 3. But while he's doing this, a small skirmish might break out down on the bottom side of the map. He will be zoned away, though. He can't get this bounty. Down bottom, the fight won't happen, so it's only 2 for 2.
Yeah, that's everything that happens. It looked promising a bit for Imitator, but yeah, Undying just comes in, zones him away.
He's actually taking a little bit of a harass right now. He needs to be careful here. There's a blood grenade on Tianming, but I think Tianming definitely wants to save these for the lane, so not going to be throwing them out onto Imitator just yet.
I mean, if you throw out the blood grenade, he just disruptions you, right? And he runs away. So it probably wouldn't be that effective. I feel like on top lane, there is some kill potential. But it's not going to be easy. I feel like Irving on his Doom, he'll just be creep skipping. He's doing it right now. I think that's a good approach always versus Undying if you're a strength melee core. On bottom lane, perhaps there's some... bottom lane looks like a more fun of a lane, at least. Like, there's a lot of kill potential on both sides. A Silencer with a Blood Grenade, with Arcane Curse, Morphling waveforming in, or the Blast Off, obviously.
Well, actually, I might see it here, because without it, Undying gonna end up just dead to FY. A Sticky Bomb provides the damage. FY gets the first blood. And you know, it's very often the case that people want some cores to get these first bloods, but with the introduction of universal heroes, universal supports that get these kills, gets the contribution they make to the game, or definitely justifies giving them this bonus gold early on.
Yeah, and that was insane. Like, you didn't even contribute a lot as Chalice. He used that one singular shockwave, and that's it. That's why I just continued trading hits with Undying. Like, it honestly looked a little bit too simple.
Not how they wanted to start off this game for the side of Team Bright. Given how important this game is, with Aster.Aries having fallen earlier, if Team Bright loses this one, guaranteed relegation. We need to see some magic coming in from them. Down bottom, what do we want to see from this Morphling with his build-up? Because I think that's also one of the issues with this hero. That he doesn't feel as impactful with his items as a lot of the other cores do at the moment. What do you think is going to be the progression here for Heat to have an impact this game?
I know what's usually the build, like with that Manta and into Aghanim's. I feel like that's perhaps still an option for him, but I don't know if there's any better choices at the moment. You're playing versus a Medusa. Maybe the Fusel is an option, right? But it's kind of an expensive item for what you're getting. And your Pango will be building it anyway. But still, you can go for it.
It'll be so funny if Azure Ray win a game with Medusa and the enemy team only has one Diffusal. They'll be like, you fools! Buy 3 of them. We showed you the way.
Show some respect.
Oh, mid lane. Somnus not showing respect to Phoenix. In fact, it's gonna just kill him off solo. And that is 1v1. No support rotations. No contest over runes. Pure outskill happening in the mid lane right now, Liz.
Yeah, that's just looking rough right now because your Magnus is just destroying the Morphling in CS. Somnus is winning mid with that kill. Your top lane is being zoned out completely by the Undying, like 8 CS, 9 now on Doom, which is kind of at least okay-ish. He got the ice armor very early on, so they got some nice things, and they're probably just gonna kill off the Tombstone. Actually gets denied.
Gosh. They might be able to kill off Lu, though, as he's out of mana. Does manage to get himself up. That's 4 stacks, 5. Yep, he's dead. Irving, I don't think he even dies for this. Tianming only has level 1 into the decay, so Irving will be okay.
Yeah, that's Imitator with level 2 Shadow Poison. He hit that level 3, starts stacking up. That's really nice. Because you can continue doing this to Medusa, right? Like, just get her very low. Undying.
Dian will end up taking a tumble bottom. FY could get punished for this, but he doesn't have waveform. So FY, despite being not that speedy at the moment, still able to get away from the Morphling, who's even slower than he is.
Yeah, just no boots on Morphling. That's the biggest problem here. He can't really help. Plus no waveform, obviously. That's the second problem.
Does at least grab it now, whilst FY stacking up some camps. So Hard and the Ancient stacked up. We're going to get that farm towards the Medusa later. So even if Lu starts to have a bit more of a rough time over the next few levels, still has some catch-up opportunities. It's like you said the other day, that the top-tier teams always make sure that there's some way to play their way back into the game, and their stacks might present that for the Medusa.
Yeah, they can be taken by the Medusa. There's also Chalice who can take them, right? Because he has his Vanguard mid lane, Phoenix. This might be another one.
Phoenix falling very low, and Phoenix is actually going to die here to Somnus. FY showed up. There was a sticky bomb to slow down this Pangolier, and Somnus happily cleans him up. He's now level 6, so his kill threat is even stronger at the moment. Yeah, they had crazy time to be alive.
Yeah, they had the blast off as well, initiating with that on him, together with the Astral Step. Now they just want one of the runes, at least for Somnus. Let's see, it's actually on bottom lane, so he's not going to be able to pick that up. 2 supports rotating in, both Imitator and Undying, but maybe they kill Somnus actually. Look at Undying. Look at this.
Undying just chasing down Somnus. Somnus has a way to try and run away, but unfortunately for him, Undying stole the haste rune, so has more than enough movement speed to catch up and kill him. That was one of the funniest kills I've seen in a very long time. Undying running down a Void Spirit, but he makes it happen.
Maybe they can take down Lu as well. They're going on him.
Dude, he's actually going to be so slowed down. An Imitator can stack up these Shadow Poisons. He's out of mana at the moment. He will pop the wand, but I don't think that's going to save him. Lu, down to 47 HP and 10 mana. Is there any way out for him right now? Imitator is going to be left behind by the rest of the team. Lu is finally going to get brought down. At the very least, Somnus, though, does get Imitator.
Man,
it's not enough as a trade, but it's still okay.
Lu was fine if he took the normal route, if he just continued running. But instead, he tried to, he tried to juke them a little bit, go to the left, and he just met both the Silencer and Doom.
Game is hard.
Yeah, so they are managing to kill off the Medusa twice now, which is nice, slowing her down a little bit. Suddenly, that Medusa, when it comes to net worth, she's actually below all of the cores.
Yep.
So it's a pretty big deal.
That being said, though, the Void Spirit and Magnus are at the top of all of the cores as well. So it's a pick your poison type of scenario. The Medusa might not be active for quite some time yet, but Somnus and Chalice definitely want to make their presence known on the map. For now, though, Tianming might end up just taking a quick tumble here as Phoenix jumps on top of him. Undying is the one credited with the kill. And as has become tradition when Tianming is in the game, Silencer has not leveled up Glaives of Wisdom, so no stolen intel. Feels bad.
Yeah, it's his signature build, and I believe there's a lot of silencers right now doing the same thing. There are some silencers that literally get Glaze of Wisdom level 1 just to trade with it. Mid lane, another one on Phoenix.
That's his, what, third death so far in this game? Really been struggling, and Somnus, it's the first time he's not credited with that kill, but he's 3-1-1 already. Not even 10 minutes in.
Yeah, they're just doing the same thing over and over again on this poor Pangolier. He needs a ward of some sort, imitator. Yeah, he falls as well. Dude, like Somnus and FY, they're just dominating this mid lane.
Gosh. Bro, not just dominating this mid lane, but the more this tour goes on, the more I start to question, why the hell did these guys break up? Holy smokes, they're so good when they're playing on the same team. Undyne is about to lose his life to FY at the moment. Now, one more right click from FY, not going to be enough, and he's gone a little bit too far in. Doesn't want to end up losing his life, so he will leave. But Somnus was nearby, considering making the advanced jump and still thinking about it, but probably thinking to himself that the life of the silencer, not worth the risk, so will allow him to live.
Yeah, he can wait up the techies, right? Like FY heals up, joins the fight again, and I'm literally right now just looking at Somnus. He's more or less the guy that this whole game is rotating around. So.
Yep. What do we think for this game? Echo Saber Manta as usual?
Yeah,
just so he has damage and away past silence.
I think so. I think Manta overall is extremely good on Universal Heroes, so why not get it here as well?
In middle, as is the trend right now within Chinese Dota. Around this point in the game, we have 6 heroes all converging around here. When I have a jump quickly going on to Imitator, they should be able to kill him off.
Phoenix.
This one started with Tianming laying down his tombstone, and Phoenix sadly cannot find any connection with the Rolling Thunder. So this will end for nothing, and Irving showed up as well. Gonna try and make sure they at least get a kill onto Tianming, but with Chalice's arrival, this might also lead to the death of the Doom, and indeed it does, granting a double towards the Void Spirit.
Yeah, that's really, really not worth it. Like, you're Doom for non-dying. Doom is almost your highest core.
Oh no, they're about to get more as well out of this list. They get the Blast Off stun onto the Shadow Demon. They should be able to set up for the Aether Remnant from Somnus. One more right click secures the kill. As the tier 1 tower falls, Chalice finds himself confronted with the Morphling, so will end up dying to the Water Boy. But that does still end up drawing the Morphling towards the mid lane. The tower falls anyway, and it's a 4 for 5. I think AR is still okay with this.
Yeah, but eventually you had to, I guess. Oh, Morphling. Oh, he does go strength fast enough. I think you're still fine if you kind of needed to respond to all of the aggression that Azure Ray was bringing. Even though you're not happy as a Morphling to be joining fights this early on, you'd rather be hitting some creeps. It is good that you slow down their advance. One big problem that Team Bright had in that fight is Silencer hit 6, but he never had enough mana to use Global.
Feels bad. These have arcade boots right now, completely full mana. So if a fight does break out somewhere, should be ready to try and respond to this. However, for now, AR still just stacking FY right now, trying to make sure this Medusa will get as stacked and farmed as humanly possible. And they don't need to make big bombastic plays, right? Their heroes scale really, really well. Yes, you're playing into a Doom, but you have Void Spirit, you have Medusa, you have Magnus. There's no need to push the envelope right now.
Yeah, and Somnus is like, yeah, Medusa, I like you a lot, but what I also like is farm. And he's like, yeah, these Ancients... Okay, Ancients he's gonna leave, but he's only leaving the Ancients because Empower ran out. Maybe if he gets Empowered again, he'll go back and take them. I wouldn't be too surprised. But the hard camp stack, he definitely took.
Let's see what he ends up doing. He might actually be called upon for a fight, though, because Team Bright are putting in several heroes to the bottom side of the map. Insistent on mounting a potential defense. They do not have a Blink Dagger just yet on this Magnus, so it doesn't seem like Azure Ray want to force this fight just yet, but they smoke up. The Team Bright, they will not be denied. They want to use these spells somewhere, somehow. They come across Chalice. Global Silence will be popped for this one as well. Rolling Thunder will come in. Do they have the disables necessary? They're chaining him up right now. Imitator has thrown in these curses, but he's still alive on the Magnus, and he's not going to die just yet. He does end up falling, but not before he skewers some heroes back. They've already lost both supports. Irving, having been slowed up by the Magnus, will now be killed off by the rest of his lineup. As Somnus gets a double, they turn it into a 3-for-1. They're going to get the tier 1 tower anyway. And Azure Ray demonstrate their quality here in this bottom lane.
Yeah, and it was a smoke that happened on them. It was a nice smoke coming from Team Bright. The problem is, like, you just don't have enough damage. You have some control coming from Pangolier, of course, but just not enough damage at the moment. Like, look at this. They use global and everything, and they go on the tankiest target on the side of Azure Ray, and that's this mag. He also gets healed up a little bit, saved up a little bit by the Undying, I believe. He was there at least. The Tombstone helped. And yeah, they do get the Magnus in the end at least.
They do indeed get him, but ultimately does not feel worth Irving dying here. I believe at the time he wasn't that far off from having a new Midas. Hasn't been able to make his influence on the map felt just yet. But for me, the really big deal is that they still end up not just losing the tower, but the tower got lost to Lu. And that means that Lu's also free right now to take over these Ancients that were left behind graciously by Somnus. Nobody had to yell at him to tell him to not farm the Ancients. Lu is just going to take them right now.
You'd think
and get stronger on the Medusa.
I did see the cameras. They were yelling. Lu did look a little pissed. But yeah, he gets that Manta, like you said, on Lu. Getting actually a defusal on Medusa. Okay. I did not see this before. At least in the recent games, I haven't seen a Medusa. Or overall, I don't see defusal Medusa very often.
I saw this one game against a Storm Spirit, a Medusa going for the Diffusal Blade. And I suppose in this game, they're reckoning that, well, this Mantis, this Morphling will be very important to try and burn away his mana. So that might be the rationale here, but it is definitely very atypical, even in this patch.
Yeah, I mean, Diffusal overall is good versus Morphling, just super atypical on a Medusa top lane.
Do you see that Morphling steals away their Magnus form? RP, though, will converge, coming in from this Morphling onto 2. Maybe wants to kill off Imitator before he dies. Sadly, though, Phoenix is here to render aid and prevents him from getting his prize.
Yeah, if he had Empower for the full duration of that RP, maybe he even managed to snatch a kill, but nope. This way, he just uses RP, doesn't get anything for it, and a nice pick-off from Team Bright.
The thing that bothers me about these kind of pickoffs is, ultimately, I still don't think Azure really care that much. They have this Medusa that's still farming away, this Void Spirit, obviously doing the normal scaling build with this Manta. Eventually, Magnus will pick up the Harpoon and will still scale throughout the game. And it feels like the only hero that's doing phenomenally right now is this Morphling. The rest of the Team Bright are still playing catch-up. So I want more from them, not just these one individual pickoffs that don't lead to better map control. For example, top lane, look at this. Heat is dead. Oh my god. Is Heat actually, does he have the game sense to survive? Oh, Morphling! Morphling! Okay, he's fine. He's okay.
He might find Lu. Let's see. Lu,
they see Lu indeed, but Lu does get off the Stone Gaze before the Doom emerges. There will be a silence that gets thrown out here, but the question is, can they keep this Medusa alive? She is running, and on the back line of the fight, here comes the rest of Azure Ray. They've picked off this Shadow Demon. What else can they get here? FY will get taken down, though, by the rest of the lineup. Sadly, Irving gets left on the high ground, and the Doom has now elapsed, so Irving will eat a Mystic Snake, get slowed down, and gets right-clicked away, as Lu is the one credited with the kill. Still alive and still standing strong, Liz, despite being the priority target.
Yeah, he used that Diffusal Blade in the end as well on the Doom. First usage, showing his sparkly Diffusal Blade off, but yeah, interesting fight. Doom went in, did Doom Lu, but Lu was a bit too quick with the Stone Gaze, right? If that Stone Gaze doesn't get popped, obviously, Medusa dies there instantly, in an instant, but they just couldn't get on top. Even Pangolier using a Rolling Thunder, but Rolling Thunder also doesn't work against Medusa's ult, so he also got Stone Gazed. And that should be...
Azure Ray happy.
Yeah, very happy. Manta flying out to the Void Spirit. Courier being a little bit overworked, flying across the map, but...
There's a lot of scary items getting in for them. There's a Manta. They're about to pick up a Guardian Grease for the techies. And sadly for Team Bright, if we look at their own item progression, we're not nearly as close. Quite a long distance before we have the Skadi for the Morphling. Pango, about what, 1200 gold before we have the Aghanim Scepter. And even Doom, no Blink, no BKB, no Halberd. So still feels very vulnerable in these fights.
Yeah, they are getting some things at least. It's not like they've fallen super heavily behind at least. It's just that on Azure Ray, they are getting items that they need versus Silencer. Like you mentioned, the Greaves, the Mantas, the BKBs. These are all nice things that you need. Irving?
Actually smoked up, yeah. Irving is he dead? Yeah, he's super dead. Sorry, fam. They actually choose to RP for him, actually, so this might keep him alive. Aether Remnants will be there to hold him in position, jumping in from Somnus. They really wanted Irving, but they'll allow him to live, feeling that the Crimson God might be too tough to punch through. I don't agree with them that he would be too hard to kill, but playing into Doom is a bit too tricky underneath the tier 2 tower, so I still lowered their discipline. And Chalice, nonetheless, was looking for a way to skewer him back. Doesn't find the angle, however.
You have to keep in mind that Global was used and also that Shadow Demon is nearby. So getting that kill and not being punished would be really hard.
Well, much easier to pick up a Silencer kill though, who dies in like 4 hits. As his life gets removed, Lou thinking about just sieging through this tier 2 tower. And Team Bright, can they stop this, Liz, or do you just have to forfeit the building?
The tier 2, I think they're just giving up on. Silencer is dead for 10 more seconds. And even if he's up, you don't have Global on him, so you cannot contest this.
Oh boy. It's a 5k net worth lead right now for the side of Azure Ray, but I'll be honest with you, Liz, it feels a little bit more stock than that. Let's take a look at what Dota Plus says. What do you think? Before we take a look, what do you think the win probability is going to be? I'm thinking 75 right now.
I was more like 60-ish. But okay, like 75 is perhaps fair as well. 78.
All right.
I think they're swinging way too hard, one way or the other. Like 20 minutes in, I can see it, but it's not that horrible. Skadis are being picked up on both sides, by the way. And they should be picked up around the same time. Morphling, 2.6k gold. Medusa, 2.2. So Morphling should get it just a tiny little bit earlier.
True story, but that'll be the Morphling's second item. Whilst it might be the Medusa enclosing on her third. And now the jump in. They find this Shadow Demon. Don't kill him off just yet. Irving, beautiful Doom thrown in onto Somnus with the Global Silence on top of it. Can they kill off the Void Spirit though? Rolling Thunder does come in. Morphling goes towards the Void Spirit and does manage to find the kill. They take out the Tombstone while they're here. Now they want to pursue and continue the fight. Beautiful RP. Catches 3 heroes from Chalice, bringing them all towards Lou. FY follows up with the blast off. Nobody's dead just yet, though, as they did buy time with the disruption onto Medusa. Lou gonna be forced to TP away from this, but can't do it. Adapter Strike interrupts it, and they have the damage to kill him off. Yeah. The attempt was there from Azure Ray. We could see the idea, Liz, but unfortunately, they just did not have the damage, and they get punished super hard by Team Bright.
Yeah, I feel like they believed the win probability a little bit too much themselves as well. They went in, got very much punished. Like, you're playing versus Doom and Global. Like, if they use these 2 spells correctly, you will fall. And Morphling dishes out enough damage right now. He doesn't have a Skadi, but Manta, Ultimate Orb, he still hurts. It was a nice RP, but still not enough damage. Medusa isn't going for pure right-click. She has some hybrid build with Manta Diffusal and now going into Skadi. Like, I can get it a little bit. You're much tankier this way. Like, Manta and Skadi and Diffusal all give you a bit of int, a bit of mana.
Well, that fight definitely will humble Azure Ray a little bit. And even though they're playing down towards bottom, they're not playing towards the actual tower. They're playing towards the Roshan pit. But do they have a Solar Crest? They do on the Undying. So they should be able to get through him quite quickly.
There's the double damage as well on Void Spirit, so getting this is gonna take seconds.
Aegis should be available. Do they just give it to the Void Spirit, or do you give it to Medusa?
You could give it to Medusa. Let her farm a little bit longer with it. Yeah. She could join. She's got a Skadi, by the way, so this could be already your hero that's pushing high ground and hitting it.
Oh.
Dire's middle tower.
Medusa, no longer the strongest hero on the map in terms of net worth at the very least. That honor does go towards the Morphling.
Is under attack.
The two of them are similar in level, but the Morphling did complete a Skadi prior to Medusa.
Dire's
And they're both gonna trade tier 2 towers, it seems. As Team Bright pushing tier 2 top. Azure Ray doing the same thing down bottom. And then I imagine after this, Azure Ray might still continue though, because they still have the Aegis. So they might have to return from Team Bright to defend this high ground.
Guess what? It's a 24-minute mark. It might not be the same item build, but it's the same timing. You get those 3 items and you go in.
If you're playing Medusa right now, heed the words of Lizard. At 25 minutes, this is where you want to be. They popped the global silence though to try and dissuade this Medusa from pushing. Nobody's dead just yet, but the Morphling will end up being able to bring down Chalice's Magnus. Stone Gaze was popped in by the Medusa as they take out Irving. So Irving is dead, no buyback, and a Doom already utilized for this fight. Chalice has buyback and ultimate, but the question is, does Lu get to escape here? 3 minutes, 40 seconds on the Aegis, still a decent amount of HP, but his mana very shortly going away. A couple of more right clicks is all they need to kill him off. These illusions from the Medusa, one more should do it. And they do eventually make it happen. Imitator not only kills off the Medusa's first life, also takes away the Void Spirit's real life, and now might even set up for Lu to die for real. Diffusal Blade Bird will be there from the Pangolier. They'll inhibit the Medusa to make sure she cannot flee, and they'll right-click away to make sure she cannot live. Team Bright, yet again, demonstrating some great teamfight prowess here in this bottom lane here, Liz.
Yeah, Shadow Demon. Doing Shadow Demon things. Disrupting Medusa, who has a Skadi and a Diffusal versus Shadow Demon. So, dies even quicker. Peculiar choice when it comes to items from Lu, really. I felt like Butterfly and Manta is more than good enough this game.
Dire's bottom tower is under
I guess he definitely underrated the threat that the Shadow Demon poses against them. And we see it in this fight. These are just the illusions here, Liz. I mean, look at this. Before even Swashbuckle comes in, normally you're concerned about just that, but here it's not even a big thing. Imitator. This itemization not only making life harder for Lu himself, but making his team weaker overall, given how strong his own illusions are.
Yeah, I feel like we had a significant advantage on one side. Like the favor is now on Team Bright's side. We might see an upset here if they continue playing the way they have. But if you're Azure Ray, you just have to adapt to the Shadow Demon disruption. Like, you either kill him off first, or you find a way that Medusa is too deep for him to engage that way on.
Might have to start thinking about potential Lincoln Spheres to put on top of the Medusa to protect her. For now, though, Azure Ray had went in on a small little adventure here, hoping to try and catch out somebody from Team Bright. And on the high ground, Irving, he just leapt onto here raw. Didn't have any vision of the area. What a madman. But Azure Ray do not call his bluff. And he does stay alive. To be fair, he's also supremely difficult to kill right now.
Yeah, and he had teammates close enough. I think that's also very important. They were right by his side, so if they do go on the Doom, like you said, he's tanky, he survives long enough, they turn the fight.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I love how this game has been so topsy-turvy. But up and down, it's a 60%, 62% chance now for Team Bright to win. But still doesn't necessarily feel like any team has a clear road to victory. One fight in either direction could change the entire game.
It comes down to these two cores as well. Medusa and Morphling and what they continue to buy. I believe Morphling has queued up a Daedalus Okay, so but he already has the axe, by the way, and Medusa that you talked about is not going for a moon shard, and she can't, right? Like at this point, I don't feel it's even that good. Kinda necessary,
Yeah,
maybe later on. Yeah.
I think you do definitely need the crit damage first, and then you can come back for the moonshot. But definitely agree with you that at this point it's a bit too late to do it.
Yeah, look at this Team Bright smoking up, ready to fight.
Let's see what they will accomplish here.
Who could have guessed? Like Team Bright doing so damn well versus Azure.
This happens every season, dude. This is so annoying. Like, at the very end, the team who's doing the absolute worst will somehow find some level up against a team that's doing really, really well.
Because they're
and
cool,
make the game
you know?
entertaining.
They just want to show that everyone that they could have been first if they wanted to.
Ah, I see.
But they're the cool kids. They're not nerds. We're winning Dota, come on.
Maybe they realize if we win all of these games, then we have to go to the major, then we have to prepare for TI. That's too much practice. We have things to do, you know? We have other engagements planned. Maybe Irving is like, his secret life is as a model. We don't know, but Heat, this entire time is actually in a band. So he has practice after this. Doesn't want to make sure that he spends the whole day just playing Dota.
Is he actually, or are you making that thing up? Because if he is, we can join him. Or he can join us.
Now he's gonna feature on our tracks, bro. The Church of Doom is a two-person affair.
Why are we called the Church of Doom? That sounds like some black metal band.
I was actually listening to some black metal when I thought about it, and I was like, oh, this would actually be cool.
So you listen to black metal?
Yeah. I have a wide variety of taste, brother.
Okay, interesting. Demo Borgir snare. Let's go.
Oh, you missed when I was like 22, 23, I had a massive emo phase. That was some rough times.
I mean, we all have done things we regret, snare. It's okay. Don't worry.
Should have seen my hairstyles back then. I regret those, but I don't regret the hairstyle now. Now we look good.
What changed you? Did you watch that South Park episode with Butters when he realizes?
No, I just realized that music being good or just liking things that are popular isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
Radiant are scanning.
Bottom lane, one of the things that's very popular is smoking up when you realize you want to make things happen on the map. And I like it from Team Bright.
Yeah,
there's a lot that they have to offer here.
FY though, smart mind, just covering himself a little bit there. It's global though.
Yeah, the global came in. They're going directly onto Somnus. He does not have any coverage there, and he's far away from FY and the gang. There's no Lotus Orbs. There's no Lincoln Spheres. Basically, zero protection against the jump-in Doom. And he ends up dead. No buyback either. Fortunately for them, there's no Roshan to be claimed by Team Bright, but this is a big setback for them.
Yeah, for almost a minute and a half, no rush. So it's a big setback in like the goal department. It's also because they're losing map control, but they shouldn't lose more unless they really commit. Because if you're Azure Ray, you don't know if Rosh is up or not, right? And because of that, you might opt to go for a fight here.
They definitely know that the side of Team Bright is still hovering around the area. Do they just try to get themselves deep in? Chalice has Blink Harpoon and it does still have access to the RP. And the big deal is that they know that there's no more global, but crucially, there's no more Doom for quite a significant portion of time.
Yeah, but the positioning on Team Bright, Morphling.
Yes. You see, Chalice can find the skewer, but like you mentioned, positioning, the only hero that's in range for a skewer is the only hero that will never die from a skewer combo.
Yeah, but they do smoke up.
Easily gets out.
They smoke up, and I believe they know where, like, you should know where Team Bright is.
Get the skewer back. This time around, it's on Imitator. And the Shadow Demon, unlike the Morphling, doesn't have easy tools for escape, so he does get himself killed off. On the other side of the fight, Somnus looking towards bringing down Undyne and will be able to claim the life of the Silencer. There was indeed a buyback from the Shadow Demon to try and return into this fight, and they do manage to kill off this Undying. Irving putting a lot of pressure onto Somnus. Somnus losing his life. Somnus will die to the Adaptive Strike of Morphling. It's going to be a double kill for the Morph. There was an RP from Chalice, but not onto the priority targets. So Azure Ray will have to flee from this fight as the Medusa loses all her mana, gets right-clicked down by Heat, and Heat with this Daedalus going absolutely freaking ham in this fight, Liz. So much damage, an ultra kill, 7,000 damage from him.
It's kind of hard to say it because the teams are generally considered very different. Like Azure Ray is considered much stronger than Team Bright, but you couldn't tell in these last couple of minutes, like last couple of fights. And honestly, this looks like, for me, a very difficult game to come back to if you're Azure Ray. Maybe some insane RPs on the high ground, but Heat right now, this Morphling, how do you deal with him? He morphs into Medusa, he's a better Medusa, basically. That 25-minute mark when they were pushing high ground, it failed. Like, they didn't manage to get it. And since then, this is completely in Team Bright's control. Like, look at Heat, what he's doing with the Medusa, it's like crazy.
I yet again go back to asking, what did I do wrong today? I have to witness a Morphling do well, and I saw a Juggernaut win earlier. What is going on here? Amazing performance though from Heat. He's also got a ton of net worth into his coffers. Once this Butterfly emerges, we're so far away from having an MKB for the Medusa. She needs her own Butterfly first. Nobody else is going to buy the MKB. How do they deal with the Morphling at that point?
Yeah, they just don't have enough lockdown, not enough cash. Like, you have the RP, the Techies bombs, Techies blast off, that is, but it doesn't feel like it's enough. You can all hide in the Tombstone, though. That's the Undying did get Tombstone Aghanim Shard, so...
They should actually allow the whole team to be inside the Tombstone.
Right.
And like for each hero inside the Tombstone, it adds like +5 hits to kill it.
Irving is in.
He's running off to set on dying, but not going to be able to catch up in time. But with the help of Heat, maybe he might. Heat, though, gets RP'd and skewered inside the base. They really want this Morphling. Global Silence, though, will be there to help cover him. Still, though, his first life is under jeopardy and it will be taken away. At the same time, Tianming will die outside of the base. The question is, can they get the Morphling the second time? So far, they cannot. Aether Remnants does get dropped down, but the more important thing is the skewer. Chalice, yet again, dragging Heat into the base. But like you said, he becomes an even better Medusa. Uses the form to help kill off Chalice, finishing him off with the Adaptive Strike. And now with the bash, going out onto the Medusa. Lu, no HP, no life so quickly. Oh my god, and no buyback either. That might just be the game. Somnus, can he get out of here? Gets doomed up. Had the Manta to evade the Adaptive Strike, but nothing to deal with the Doom. He is also dead without buyback.
Okay.
And do my eyes deceive me? Listen, this is not possible. This can't be happening.
They don't have any creeps, so that's possible, and that's happening. They don't have any creeps in the base. Top lane not pushed in, bottom lane not pushed in. Because of that, this isn't straight up game. Which it really could have been. Morphling is now sitting on a very comfortable 10k net worth advantage over the Medusa, finishing off a Satanic very soon. I mean, you can defend perhaps one more time, but it's not going to change the outcome. I feel like this game still is very easily won by Radiant. 87% win rate. Probability, that is.
Only 87?
Only 87, yeah. I guess it's the Medusa plus RP factor, right?
That is true. And to be fair, it is only one lane of racks at this point in time. The tier 2 tower is still standing. It should still fall on this next creep wave. However, everyone will be respawned in time to defend the rest of the base.
I feel like you have to prevent this Morphling from morphing into you. Like, if he morphs into Lu, that's it. You cannot kill him, you cannot stop him. But you can also not stop him from morphing into you. Like, that's... He's just gonna wait.
You know, in retrospect, not only is this Diffusal Blade really proving to be detrimental for the Medusa, but the lack of not just going straight up Moonshot. Who was it that we saw buying Moonshot straight into Morphling?
Not sure. It was done yesterday, right?
Yeah, like yesterday or day before or something.
Yeah.
But it looked so good as when you get it.
Yesterday, that's it.
Basically, as soon as the Morphling gets axed. As we see FY die. Sadly, though, in this game, the Medusa not only does not have the Moonshot, she's going for a Butterfly first because she's not going to have this in time. So that means it's not going to be the pure improvements that the item is supposed to represent in the fight. She's still going to be heavily gimped by this Morphling.
Yeah, the Morphling also takes her attack speed, right? And at the same time, there's skewer back.
Okay. Can they actually kill the Morphling? He does manage to dodge the RP with the waveform away. Chalice sadly couldn't find anything there. And he takes over the Medusa form. Yet again, doing quite a lot of work with this. Chalice goes in once more. Really wants to try and get this kill. The global silence will be popped, but look at the Medusa go. Satanic coming in from Heat just to keep himself alive and dish out the damage necessary to win this fight. 2 heroes have fallen. Buyback immediately comes in from the Medusa, but Heat still has the Medusa form. He's still a superior hero. Can just stand on the high ground and wail away at this tier 3 tower. Phoenix now jumping in onto Lu. They burn away all his mana. He's forced to Stone Gaze and try and run himself away. But even then, can't do anything to defend the actual buildings. They lose the life of Somnus on his Void Spirit. The racks will fall now. And we have almost full megas. FY will end up getting brought down as well. There's going to be a very nice jump in onto the back end of the fight by Phoenix. He almost dies. He's going to be forced to flee. And although Azure Ray forced away the Void Spirit to keep him alive, and they forced the Pango to flee, they can't kill off the Morphling just yet. Lu really wants to get this damage out onto Heat to get skewered back in closer to the fountain. He still has so much HP. He's out of mana, however. Dragged back in by the Aether Remnant. Chalice really wanted to find one more skewer, but Heat's able to waveform away. The rest of his team clean up the racks. And they're not done just yet. They're going to go mid.
Yeah, why not? Medusa is dead for 100 seconds, more or less. Magnus.
Let's see, can they kill off Chalice? Chalice will die almost instantly here. Rolling Thunder from Phoenix keeps him chain disabled. Imitator finds a Demonic Purge onto Tianming, and that enables them to get that kill as well. Nobody has buybacks on the side of Azure Ray, so it's going to be straight up mega creeps. And there's no reason to leave the base right now for Team Bright. They are much stronger.
Yeah, you can end this. 36k ahead. Let me see. The graph, what does it say? 99%. They're still giving 1% even after GGs are called. Yeah, what a disaster.